What's up, my totally tubular viewers? And today we have another video of a book roundup, this time of history books. Now, this will be the last one for a little while of the roundups. We're gonna have a couple in the future for like business and for psychology as well. But yeah, this will be it for a little while until because I have a couple of books down the pipeline that I want to read before then. But anyways, minor spoilers about that. And also, I do plan on having some like one-off kind of reviews rather than conglomerate ones like I've been doing. And yeah, I mean, if it's a good enough book, I'll do a review. And every once in a while, in between like gaming episodes of Ace Attorney or whatnot. Yeah. So, anyways, so I put the books in, as you can see, the historical chronological order. Yeah, so here we go with the first one, Sapiens by Yuval Harari, or Yuval Noah Harari. Yeah, anyways, he's this university professor guy who became really well known from his books, and you know, Bill Gates seems to really like him. This book it's a pretty great read. It's very dense though, like in information. And you know, I mean, oh yeah, Barack Obama, the other people liked it, and yeah, good stuff there. Yeah, he touches upon just other like early human stuff and other things with making connections that people wouldn't come to on their own when thinking about historical contexts. Like the whole thing with agriculture being, you know, taming us rather than us taming agriculture is like because we evolved to rely on it and stuff. Like that's a different perspective than I would have thought, or other people would have thought. Here's the China book that I really liked about Chinese history. I told you about the Terracotta Warriors. They also talk about how they were making jade weaponry and jewelry on like one of the first. It was like I want to say it was the first dynasty. They were doing that and writing on bone, and that was yeah, on turtle shells and stuff. Like it was pretty neat. And of course they actually had gone to ancient Japan. They say the reason how they got there for like early humans is through the ice bridge when back in the ice age, and then it melted off and now it's become an island. And I mean that melted off a very long time ago. I would say. So yeah, it's cool stuff. Like if you want to know about ancient Japan, this is a nice, you know, pretty concise history. You can see it's not very long. And let's see. Here's the table of contents. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Now I would definitely get like a modern Japanese equivalent to supplement that, because the thing is like this only tells half the story of Japan, or like just a little figment of it. It's not really doing it justice. Like I feel like this book does the Chinese history a lot better. It's a lot more comprehensive because you go all the way to like Mao Zedong over here. So that's a lot of history. That's like up into the 50s. Yeah, so anyway, so moving right along, we got that good old ancient Egypt, and you know, it talks about some stuff that we already know about and some stuff that it's not as known, like the aerodynamic clothing, the use of adobe brick through the mud used from the Nile River, and how they would use that mud to make the houses, how they worship the scarab as a god, which I don't know why they would do that. That bug literally just rolls up their own crap and stuff and other things crap. It's pretty gross. I don't know why they would think of it as a god, but they did. Anyways, yeah, they were kind of weird that way, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. And let's see. Yeah, they also talk about religion and the government and society, food, architecture, arts, culture, crafts, warfare, medicine, the whole shebang. But what they don't talk about is the Baghdad battery though, and they had it was able. I don't think it's covered in here, but the Baghdad battery they were able to generate like 6 volts of electricity through a chemical reaction that required vinegar and like this clay pot that's like ceramic and stuff. And They also, it had like a little bit of tin and other materials, and it was very fascinating when I first heard about it, because like Egyptians and electricity, what the hell? Like that's not something that's been known to be a thing until like the 1800s. Like mid 1800s. That's crazy. But yeah, they technically were able to harness a little bit of electricity. While it's not enough, while it's not a whole lot by the modern equivalent to what we have today, it's still something. And yeah, I mean, that was something else. And then yeah, we have brief history of Venice and the Romano-Britain. I'm not sure if the brief history of Venice has got to be after Rome, but before Romano-Britain. But it probably like transpires in between. So that's why I have it set like that. Anyways, yeah, starting with, well, going to Rome. This book is pretty neat, and it's an Oxford book. They do a good job with their books, and some chapters are worth skipping that are not as interesting. And I like to do sometimes, like if it's a really long book, like I don't want it to waste my time, so I'll skip certain chapters. Now, of course, you don't have to do that. I'm sure you'd want to get your money's worth. But I live by the 80-20 rule of Pareto's principle, so I'd rather not go through all the extra effort. Like I want to go in, get what I need to know, and then move on, not do all this extra BS. So, but yeah, I mean, it covers what it covers, and then this little book is very short and concise of Venice. And when I went to Venice for the first time, I went to this museum and they had it there, and I thought, well, this is a cute little traveler kind of book, and so I got it. And they talk about like all the different period and the different doges, which are the equivalent of emperors. Yeah, I know you think of doge, you think of the dog, but it's not the dog, it's actual dude. And it's a pretty fascinating thing, really, like how this whole, it's not like Amsterdam in the way how they put there's like a whole system that they have it on. But like with Amsterdam, it's a little different, because they brought up the soil from the ground, and due to the erosion and rising sea levels and the weight of people and vehicles on top, it's sinking, and they have to keep. I mean, they still have to constantly repair Venice as well. I mean, there's no getting around it. Like those kind of river-like cities are just always going to be a constant maintenance bill that's like higher than, well, just very high in price. Like they're just very expensive to maintain those cities, but they end up being some of the prettiest. But anyways, Romano-Britain, this is where there's been a shift from the Roman Empire to, well, Britain, of course. And it wasn't an easy shift, but it's one that had to happen for one reason or another. And then they called Londinium, there over there, which later became London. And so you have stuff like that. And this one's a very short book. I don't know why they made it so short, but it's whatever. But you had other city names and other places that were founded way back when had similar names that were streamlined into what we have today. And that's pretty darn cool, if I don't say so myself. Then we have The Federalist Papers. Yes. Now while this read is sometimes not, it's sometimes, you have to be in a certain mood for it, because sometimes you'll be in a mood where it's not as interesting to you, and then sometimes you'll be in that mood where you're more reflective and more philosophical. And that's usually when you're not in a hurry for something or don't have to worry about any obligations. That's like the best time I would read this, is like when you're not worried about anything or have anything else to do. Because whenever you read anything philosophical, especially at this kind of level, and like Aristotle and those primary texts, though, that really takes a hell of a long time to get through, and you might have to reread some of the sentences a couple of times. I know I did for Aristotle, so I mean, it's not out of the ordinary one iota. But this one is probably one of the most important histories that you can read, because not only did it influence, all of the entire Constitution, but it also influenced how other countries run their government, and what they took away from us, what they wanted to implement from us. And yeah, what more needs to be said? I mean, you got to check it out yourself. Everyone should read it at least once, and I've read a little bit, and I plan on reading more of it. So yeah, pretty cool book. And then I throw this in for shrimps and giggles, the Super Mario World history. And I mean, I don't need to tell you all the games and all the stuff that came out, because I mean, if you're a fan of Super Mario, then you know, and most people know, and it's just a fun little book. And yeah, I liked it. But yeah, would I put it amongst the others? Well, for this video, it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not as important as the other ones for sure. So, but yeah, so that wraps up everything over here, and it's quite a little bit more than our usual roundup, but that's okay. We're gonna have a couple of more after, and they'll probably be around this size. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye bye.